Welcome, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Please take a moment as you are coming in to go ahead and type where you are tuning in from. All right. Please put it in there, whether you're in PA or you're in Hawaii or you're in Virginia, wherever you are, we would love to know where you are tuning in from. Welcome to our first Monday Night Vibe Live. And before we get started, I want to give you just a quick rundown of the flow tonight. We have the amazing, awesome Dr. Sequeda Sutton that is here. And I want to save a little bit so I can talk about her right here. But but how you doing, Doc?
I'm amazing. Thank you for asking.
Absolutely, absolutely. We're gonna have some fun on tonight. It's gonna be good. It is already good because all things are good. So, Monday Night Vibe is an offering, especially for the emerging leaders of Elevation Nation community, as well as our guests in the community. And so tonight, as a part of that, we are here with that topic in mind as we're doing our live recording as well as a Q&A dealing with happy money. All right, so you can put that in the comment section as well. Happy money, because we're going to go there. We're going to have some comments, some questions. We're going to engage. We're here live with you, and we want you to go ahead and stick around throughout this entire flow. Again, so we are talking about happy money, and we have with us, like I said, it's the amazing Dr. Sequeda Sutton. And I could talk so much about the accolades of all that she is, the expression of Christ she is in this earth realm. I can talk about all the degrees, but what I want to share with you, Elevation Nation, is truly that Doc, that's what we affectionately call her, Doc, is she's not new to this, she's true to this, okay? Is that, am I right or am I right? Right.
You're right. You're right.
All right. And so what you it's a lifestyle. And it's so many moments and times pertaining to this. Y'all have, if y'all heard me preach and teach, y'all have heard Doc teach and preach. I just want to put that out there. Like, all right. Because it's been so inspirational, so powerful, so life-changing, Doc. And so again, thank you, as well as the vibe, the energy that you, as well as Pastor Sutton, your husband, has. It's because of your life, your legacy, and your realness that Lanisha and I, as well as Elevation Nation, is what we are today. So without further ado, Doc, I want to just jump into some of this. Is that okay?
Oh, yes, it is. Thank you so much for the introduction. Thank you for having me, you and Lanisha. Thank you so much. It is an honor to know you, and it is my joy to be here and share in this moment.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Family, before we go into the question area, I've been given this assignment and I want to give it to you as well. All right. Just type in the comment section, I am prosperity and I am prospering. Okay. So if you can just put that in the comment, look, whether you're seeing this live or you're even catching the area of this on the Elevated Podcast side, look, just put that out there. And while you're typing that out there, just put that in your mind and your vibration of I am prosperity and I am prospering. Okay, because think about this, as emerging leaders, we are going to experience a lot of money. Okay. And what I like to call now is unlimited supply on this journey of abundance and peace. And some questions might arise as to how do I maintain this flow of money, or what daily practices can I ensure so I can be in this continuous flow of unlimited supply, or how do I maintain this financial energy, this unlimited flow, so forth and so on. So, or maybe you just saw a title to this and it said happy money. You're like, what is that about? You are here right now with the amazing Dr. Sutton for us to talk about this. And I can remember the very first thing when it came to the area of money or unlimited supply that Doc has said to me. I'm going to ask her just to go in a little bit on this, but you told me that money is energy.
Oh, yes, it is. I have to remember when we talk about what I said in a moment. I have to bring it back up. But money is energy. It is a source. It is moving. It is current. It is currency. It has the electrical understanding of movement and flow to it. So when we understand that money is energy, it is a story that we have successfully told ourselves and accepted throughout society, that
Mm.
there is, this money, and this money is this energy. We use it as legal tender in different forms, to explore life. But it is energy, because it is this is why we name it currency, because it comes from the word current, and current is meaning that it is always happening in the present time. It is happening at that moment. It is now. It is not something that's necessarily you have to objectify. It is now. And if you
Mm.
are knowing and having a relationship with your money in the now, and you have this relationship and this energy towards that money, that living supply that is current, that is now. So it's not based on old stories. It's not based on past disappointments. It's based on what's happening now. You can change your flow in a moment. You can change
Ooh.
currency in the moment. And currency also means that it's flowing in the direction of that which is electrically charging it. And that's that we have to understand that we are electrical beings, right? We have this
Mm.
energy flowing through us. So energy flows to energy. Energy is never lost or destroyed. It can only be transferred, it
Yeah.
can be transmuted, and it can be used, but it cannot be destroyed. So it's flowing to you based on your energy, and it's flowing
Mm.
based on the particles of your electrical current, and the quantity of it is represented by what your electrical charge is, and how
Mm.
often it flows is so it is energy. And that is a concept that we once we start to recognize that, we will stop being so stressed about money and just start to say it's just supply, it's just currency, it's
It's,
just flowing.
it's just flowing. I love it. I love it. I love it. You said something about the story, or
Mhm.
it's a story. What do you mean by it's a story?
It's a story that we've told ourselves, because as we do in life, in order to comprehend what's going on in our life, we develop these stories around it.
Mm.
To in a way to articulate the experience. When we tell the experience, when we tell it, we are articulated through story form. And so one of the things that we had to do as a race, as a collective whole, in order to see how it is it that we live in this dimensional plane and interact and use goods and trade goods and barter. So money became the story around how we do that, what we do. And it's a very successful one, because money is always there. Money is always flowing. And money is
Yes.
the easiest thing in the world to attract, because it
Mm.
is everywhere and it is energy. So it is
Mm.
a very successful story. But as you know, if you grow up in the house, or if three kids grow up in the house, and they say, the parents say, we're all going to the park or having a big adventure this day, and three kids go to the same adventure, they will all retell the accounts from the adventure from a different point of view, based on their feeling while they were at the adventure, based on the things that they perceived or
Ooh.
thought or felt during the day. And
Yeah.
so it becomes a story, because we are all telling the story about money. Even though it's a collective story, we now rehearse it and tell it based on our interaction with the events, our feelings around the events of the day or the motion. We are rehearsing that story based on how we perceived it. And so you can have everybody living in the same opportunity, and people showing up different ways, because they're all telling the story from a different perspective. And how you tell your story around money will determine how you flow with it and how it flows to you.
Oh my goodness, how you tell your story. Wow,
Mhm,
wow, wow.
mhm.
And I noticed that well, I know you personally, but I noticed that even when you're sharing, it's a high vibration, it's a smile, it's an expression. And we're talking about happy money. So what's that about? Like what does it mean for money to be truly happy?
Well, the cool thing is that it's not a new concept. It's been around,
Okay.
for a while. And I didn't invent it. I didn't invent it. I'm just naturally a happy person. Um, but Ken Honda talks about this concept of happy money in his writings, and as an investor, as an accountant, as a person who's worked with a lot of people, he began to understand that we have emotions that develop around money. And for me as a therapist, one of the things I hear a lot when I'm counseling and when people are talking to me is high stress levels around money. Now I study, I'm a integrative medicine practitioner, and so one of the things we look at a lot is what is the stressors that are causing so much of our diseased and chronic states of being. And so that those high stress levels around conditions around money, or not being able to live, or feeling like we can't live, those are what cause some of the imbalances we see in the body. So that understanding of thinking, okay, if we can change this emotional component or remove the causative factor of this relationship between our emotions and our money, and seeing what effect it has on the body, and then therefore translating into the effect of how we live in our state of being in life, if we could somehow bring that into a cohesiveness of happy energy, of gratitude, then we would see changes to the nervous system. We would see changes in well-being. We would see stress levels decline, and we would see living and well-being and life-affirming practices and principles increase. And so that understanding of happy money comes from this philosophy in Japan, this Japanese philosophy, which is arigato. It's this simple word, arigato. And arigato is simply you are happy, or it's thank you, but it's happy and great gratitude, having gratitude when money comes in and having gratitude when money flows out. Understanding that money is always currency, it is always in ebb and flow. So I don't get a feeling of happiness just because I gain money. I have a feeling of happiness also because I get to expend and circulate money as well. And I don't sit and complain when I have to spend money, but then always feel good when I get money, or even when I do receive money in, I look at it and automatically go, oh, that's not enough. So that's not arigato. That's not happy money. And what happens is that energy that you're putting out starts to translate as your vibrational resonance, and how you are telling the universe that this is the level of my equivalency, of my comprehension about money. So this is the only level I can receive it on. And when you begin to change your comprehension about how you feel about the ebb and flow of money, then you will begin to see it respond to you differently, because the universe doesn't necessarily respond, it corresponds. So it will correspond to you differently when we begin to shift our expression around it to one of gratitude. So that means I'm happy when it comes in, knowing that it is just living supply. I've attached no story to it. I have not attached my basis for being able to do something to it, from it. I have not attached my worth to it. I have not attached my decision on who I can show up and be that day to it. I have understood it for what it was. It is an energy resource that flows into my life for us to use. And then when I circulate it, I am just as happy. I am just as cheerful. And this is not only did Ken Honda think of this, but this is actually a biblical principle. This is a principle from Vedic literature, from the Hermetic text, understanding that there has to be a cheerfulness when we give, when we circulate, when we use this practice of dynamic exchange and give out. So that's where the understanding of happy money comes from. Money going in, I'm happy. Money coming out, I'm happy. Same thing. We don't change.
And it doesn't matter the amount, right? Whether it's
It does not matter the amount.
5,000, 50 grand, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Just a lot of gratitude in and out.
Yes.
It reminds me of breath a little bit, you know?
Uh-huh.
You were getting ready to say something.
Wait, look at it. That's one of my vibes. I just breathe for a living. What do you do for a living? I breathe.
Doc, I can't run, Doc. I can't run off this set. Okay, all right. You're messing with me.
Because when you understand, I have resources simply because I'm breathing. Everything is available to me because I'm breathing. So I'm actually just having a gratitude around life in and of itself. And that gratefulness, that gratitude of life in and of itself will begin to increase the flow on its own. And so when you think about money coming in at whatever amounts and you're happy about it, whether it's 500, 5,000, 50,000, and you understand that none of it has the meaning until I give it meaning. And if I give more meaning to 500 than I give to five, then what's happening is I'm still in this place of fear and I'm still in this place of lack, because that place of lack says that I can't be who I choose to be if I don't have this amount. And that's just not necessarily the truth. That's what we have told ourselves is true. So we give more meaning to this. And then when we have to circulate money back out, say we are paying bills or doing things that we have to do, and we're always complaining, oh, I got to buy this food, or the kids need this, or this grocery bill, or the light bill. Instead of complaining that you have to do those things, one, we change it to the understanding that I get to do those things. I get to do this because I am alive. I get to do this because I live in a house that requires electricity. And so you could be doing something else that wouldn't require that. And so I get to do this. This is an amazing gift and a privilege. And not only do I get to do this, I'm happy about doing it, because when I pay the light bill, whatever creative work, whatever intellectual property, whatever business idea, whatever thing I am doing that is going to increase my finances, it is this that allows me to be able to do that. So I'm going to be happy that I got the chance to release that out, because it is all going back to funding the resources that can help me increase in what it is I'm doing. If I'm taking classes online and going to school and getting a degree, then guess what? It is the electricity that helps me be online, that helps me with the light. So I'm using all of that to help expand my life and take it into a higher level. So of course I'm going to be happy. I'll happily write the check. I'll happily give over here. I'll happily give over here. I'm not complaining, because when I complain, I'm also saying I don't think that more is coming in, or that I feel like I'm afraid that I won't be enough. And there's never not enough. And I don't, not only do I not have to complain, I don't have to be jealous of anybody else who has, because that's when we start complaining, when we start getting upset about having to give out to others, we will attach statements to it. People will attach statements to us that says, oh, why do I have to give them? They already got, all they want is some money. Well, the fact is, you can't get jealous because this business is striving at this level, and you say you want to be a business owner, and you say you want to do something. So the fact is, there's no need of being jealous and thinking that there's not enough to go around. Universe does not know lack. God does not know lack. It is simply abundant, and there is no lack anywhere in it. So you can have, I can have, they can have, we can all eat. Nobody got to go home hungry. We can all eat, and and you eat according to the level of the story you told yourself about the food that's in front of you.
Oh, goodness gracious. So don't get upset because somebody else is telling a different story, and
Don't get
somebody else
upset.
is, and their words, their thoughts, their feeling tone is connecting and communicating to the universe how to correspond by
Yes.
how they're living and how they're breathing and how they're doing and how they're circulating. And so wow, and it's an area of oneness. So if we really are jealous, and then that's the duality aspect of it, because we're not seeing ourselves as one, as connected, as if
Yes.
you're winning, I'm winning, we all winning. And also it's in that realm as well. So Doc, we can go back and forth. I'm going to look into the community now because they are talking back to us. All right. And so I'm looking there. By all means, please put questions, comments. We are live and we see you. So Kristen, how are you? She said, good evening. Dr. Janice Marks said, happy money. Kristen said, I am prosperity and I am prospering. A better you. Happy money. You already know. Prosperity Sutton. We also have Curl Daddy. We see the love. James is also says, I don't want to, I get to. Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Sacred money doesn't win. Come on now, you're a winner. If y'all have any questions, any thoughts, please put them in the comment section. It's a conversation. Yes, Doc and I are on camera, but we are all in the area of a conversation together. So it's just dope to be vibing out in the community and having conversations as well. If you have questions, I will get to them, whether it's now or even a little bit later. But we're all together. So thank you again, Doc, pertaining to what you said. But I'm still stuck on right now how the universe, it corresponds, it doesn't respond. Please, just a little bit more in that vibe for me, just a little bit, please.
Well, the thing is, we understand, or once we understand natural law and understand how the laws of the universe work, we understand the law of correspondence, meaning that everything that is in the universe is already designed to correspond to us because we are a microcosm of the macrocosm. So what is out there, we are I like to say we are the inner space of the outer space. And so the home, the residence, the vibrational energy of all of creation is resonating within us. This is how we are divinely designed. We are intelligent beings. And a lot of times I think we try to approach the universe in manners of that are not necessarily as intelligent as we are, because we're just kind of like, oh, I'm just going to throw this out there and see what happens, not understanding that the universe is corresponding to what we throw out there. So we can walk around just like feeling some type of way or getting in our feelings, and the universe is saying, oh, okay, that's what you say you want, yes, I'll correspond. And that correspondence is always yes. It is always yes. It is unbiased. It is not it doesn't favor anybody. It just says yes to what it is that you are resonating and vibrating as your energy, as your state of being. And it
Wow.
says that if this is what if this is the story you're telling yourself, if this is how you are saying you want to show up in the world, that you feel like you show up in the world, that the world is unfair to you, okay, I'll correspond to that. I'll give you exactly what you asked for. It says yes. It has no biases. It has no stories. It does not work that way. We have the stories, and we keep trying to bring our story to the universe and saying, I want you to give me my story and fulfill my story. And it says, okay, this is the story you want to live in. This is what you have. I'll say yes to that. And then we look around and say, well, why is somebody else doing this and they doing this and they doing it? Because they're telling a different story. They have a different level of comprehension of their life and a different articulation of their life as it pertains to money. And that articulation is not filled with all of the past reference points of, I didn't get this when I was a child, so I'm trying to make something up. Somebody did this to me. I don't feel like I'm paid enough. I feel like I always have to give something away for free. Well, that's the choice that you've been making. And if you no longer want that to show up, make a different choice.
Tell a different story.
Tell a different story.
Wow. So if I hear you correctly, it sounds like, because of the law of correspondence, if I'm saying I desire, or I'm coming from an energy or a place of desire, I desire this, then the universe is saying, okay, cool, I'm still going to give you desire, as opposed to what's on the other side of the desire, because that's the
Yes.
stronger resonance that may be coming from a place of lack.
Yes. So the way it works is this. You say, I desire this, I desire this. The universe say, question. Okay, here you go. You will see all the places where it keeps showing up. It'll keep coming before you. That desire, yes, it will keep showing before you. I desire a new home. Your inbox will flood with all kind of, look at this new home, look at this new home. I'm showing your desire. Now, the law of correspondence does not work alone. It has to also work with the law of action. So what you say you desire, your action has to take place to say, not only do I desire this, I'm going beyond desire and I'm moving into action that says, this is my state of being, this is my knowing, this is what I'm doing. And this is not a goal. This is not a goal setting thing. This is me understanding that I am what I am desiring. I am the equivalent for. So I have corresponded that, and all things now start working together to bring that correspondence, to bring that understanding, to bring that energy into full fruition. And so that's how that works. So you just desiring it is not enough. What is your action behind it? What is your daily interaction with your desire? What is your daily vibration around your desire? If that desire is, yes, I desire it, but I think I can't have it. Yes, I desire it, but it'll never happen for me. Then that's duality. And so what's happening is whatever frequency is the highest, that's the one that the universe is going to correspond to, because the universe speaks frequency. It does not speak,
English.
okay, it speaks frequency. And when we study in physics, when we study the universe, we see worlds within worlds. And so inside of you, there are worlds within worlds. And sometimes it means pulling back those layers of those worlds within worlds and allowing a new world to be revealed, allowing something more to be revealed. And so even when we take this into a spiritual understanding and say, I see a new heaven, I see a new earth, I see a new this, that means that you have to make space and allow for something new to unfold in your world. But it is up to you to choose that. How do we know this? Because all of the ancients teach us this one truth: life is done unto you as you believe. Yeshua ben Joseph taught that. Kuan Yin taught that. Buddha taught that. Doesn't matter who you follow, doesn't matter who your guru is, doesn't matter. It is just a wisdom, innate principle of the universe itself, of the divine spirituality that is God, first source, cause itself, that life is done unto you as you believe. And we are that powerful that we can embody a belief, resonate in that belief, and then from that resonance that is within us, we see that what is believed now begins to be an active, participating part of our world, because by faith, we know that the worlds were formed. By faith, by belief, by knowing, we know that worlds are formed. And so how you form your world, how you shape your world is simply based on that. And it's hard to get to belief. It's hard to get to where you want to be when it's steeped in negativity and doubt and fear. And when the emotion around it is not happy, is not gratitude, is not thankfulness, because you will always be giving yourself reasons why you don't want to feel those things. And the feeling tone is very important when it comes to happiness, because that's how creation happens. Silence and vibration come together at the same time. And so it's feeling tone that causes manifestation.
Oh, see, manifestation. It seems like too, Doc, like I've seen online and everywhere else, like that's like a buzzword in a sense, right? Manifestation, law of attraction, and different things that people are talking about. And so whew, where do we want to go within all this, right? From my prior to our relationship, my understanding of the law of attraction, right? I'll just say I didn't have a full understanding as to it. I was frustrated because I thought I was manifesting. I thought I was doing the right thing, so forth and so on, but had so much judgment, so much this, so much, all that type of stuff there. I'm not asking you to give us all the goods, but could you set me straight a little bit when it comes to the area of understanding the law of attraction, what it really is, and that's connected to manifestation.
The law of attraction is a lot of times we think it's us attracting things to us simply by saying we want them. And we're not really attracting things to us. We are releasing from us, from our own energy. And when we start to release from the energy that is within us, meaning that we start internal, not external. The law of attraction works by starting internal, and then it connects with all things external that are on that same vibrational frequency, that are on that same understanding. And because it is doing that, and connecting to those things that are in that vibrational frequency, when it is resonating from within you, it has what we call in physics a greater mass, a greater weight, a greater pull. Now, at the very core and center of who you are is the unified field, which is the field of gravity. And the greater your understanding and connection is to that field of oneness of God, of divine, of source, the greater your mass is, the greater your gravitational pull is, because the happier you show up, the more your nervous system is settled, the more you are in tune with who you are. And is that resonance, that frequency that says, now, because I am in tune with the field of unlimited possibility, the unified field of all potentiality, I have an understanding about what is potential beyond me, what is the possibility beyond me, and I can unfold that possibility from my own resonance. And so what happens when I do that and emit that frequency, or when you do that and emit that frequency, all things in the universe, all particles, all things that have vibrational frequency, and everything does, starts to work together to say, okay, we all understand the same frequency, and we're going to start gravitating towards that being, that understanding, that project. And what is not for you will not have the pull to match, so it won't gravitate anyway. And if it does, things are moving out the way to say, no, you're not in this here. And so that's why we can't get upset when stuff doesn't happen, because what is really showing you was that it wasn't the gravitational match, it wasn't the mental equivalency to carry out to the full perfection what was resonating with you. It may have tickled your fancy, it may have gotten you started, it may have made you think this was the thing, but because it didn't have the equivalency to hold you in sustainment and carry you to full completion, it had to move out the way. So this is why we cannot get upset when things don't seemingly work out. You have to know, oh, that my resonance is fuller than that. And the other part of that is sometimes it's not working out because we have to say, what is my level of comprehension about the thing that I say I'm trying to attract? Because if my level of comprehension is in a vibrational energy, or my definition of that thing is limited by what somebody told me or just by my past experience, then I will only attract it to the level of my definition. And this is one of the reasons why I teach people in my trainings to let go of your definitions. You know, to let go. To let go of your definitions. They are not needed at this level of resonance. They're not needed in this attraction, because if your definition is limited, what you're bringing in your vibrational frequency, what did you attract into you, is also at that same limitation. And so sometimes we have to redefine, undefine, and go beyond our definition of a thing in order to resonate in it and manifest it.
We're gonna go back to that definition thing, Doc. But I'm gonna go in the community for my commercial break while I check on my toes real quick. All right. Jay said hi, Mom. So I gotta shout that out pertaining to that. All right. And so absolutely. So you have tell a different story. Help us, Doc. Life and death is in the power of the tongue. You have what you can say. Desire of your heart will manifest in the natural. I believe that's Pastor James. A faith without works is dead. Make space, Lanisha. Yes, according to your faith, be it unto you. Worlds are formed by faith. It's Carolyn Edwards pertaining to that, and it's activating what's already in us. Jay. All right. Better you. Negativity has no pull with me because I'm on a different channel, a different frequency, a frequency of all good. Ooh. Come on, somebody right there. Let's go. All right. Mm-hmm. Keep them coming. We love it. Any questions, anything, please put it out there in the comment section so we can go back to these definitions real quick. And I hijacked this podcast for a personal coaching session real quick. All right. So for me, family, everybody, we all fam now, right? I just when it came to money, it was just the story that I had agreed to, right? I guess that's the best way to say that. The story that I had agreed to. And so many times Doc would just work with me, talk to me, so forth and so on, to it just hit to a place for me where I even just started saying the unlimited supply. I needed to change even the definition of what I had been previously allowed my mind to be programmed with than what that is. And it had been a journey. But the funny thing is, Doc, even just within that session, in that time frame of switching that, I have seen, felt, and had a different level of vibration even around the area of the conversation. It's like the universe immediately identified, oh, this dude is in a different vibe in
Mhm.
this place. And for
Mhm.
me, I was a dude that's like, look, let me just look up this definition. Let me find this out. But then looking at the area of law of relativity and different things, like, wait a minute, like a word is a word until we give it meaning. I mean, that right there, that
Yeah.
just let me know it's a whole world out there that is ready for me to speak that thing. And if I think about that area, even in the ancient text, it's talking about that we're living a world from let there be's, which all
Mhm.
started from imagination, all started from the what I call the heavenly realm. And so a lot of times we get stuck on the let there be's and not realizing that there's so much power that's within us from our heart, from our mind, our vibration. If we can see, believe, have faith, pull that area, then that's what pulls it down from what I say the reverend of the realm of heaven, even on to here to earth. Because of that, that's the vehicle. Those words, those thoughts, those deeds, those actions. And so again, what you talk working on my articulation. That's what we're doing. We're
Yes.
working on my articulation. So I just had to hijack it a little bit just to say, y'all, I know it works. All right.
And you know what the thing is? The thing is, it does work. It does work because it's already working, and it doesn't. We don't have to do anything to force it to work. We don't
Mm.
have to do anything to force it to work. And I think sometimes we get so used on this plane of existence, trying to force something to happen or feel like we're doing something. I have to feel like I'm doing something, that it just becomes this work. And one of the things that we talk about often, and we know, is that when information is like energy, money is information, money informs, money is energy, it flows. Energy never dies. And it can only be transferred. Information is the same. It is just like that. It's transferred, and it can also be distorted. So when information leaves the unified field, when it leaves divine source, it is perfect and it is whole. However, by the time it makes it to our mind, it can become distorted because it meets with our definitions, it meets with our labels, it meets with our stories, it meets with our memories. And so our starting point then becomes, I got to try to do something to make this happen because of this. I never want to feel like this again. I don't
Oh.
go through this again. And so we're starting our interaction and our relationship with money from a stress trauma point of view that says, I'm trying to do something because I never want to feel that way again. I don't want somebody looking at me like they did before. I don't want to feel less than. I don't want to hear what I heard when I was growing up that I can't have. So we're doing all of these things. And one of the exercise I teach people to do is look around your home. Just start there. Look around your home and see how much that you have purchased, that you buy, that identifies your ego, and see how much of it identifies your state of being. Because when you spend money trying to quiet the ego, trying to satisfy the ego, so I don't have to feel like lack again, so I don't have to feel less than again, so I'm trying to do this to prove to myself I have arrived somewhere, then the relationship with money becomes one of objectifying it, and I'm trying to force a happiness. I'm trying to create an external happiness. And this is not what I'm talking about when I say happy money. I'm talking about an internal happiness, an
Mm.
internal resonance that says that my purchases, what I surround myself with, is speaking to my state of beingness. It speaks to the being that I am, how I have chosen to show up in the world. And then from that, whatever things I choose to play with, whatever things I choose to just enjoy, becomes a choice that I am free and clear to make, that doesn't come back and burden me, that doesn't come back and say, now I have to be broke trying to enjoy a egoic buy, versus I can live in my state of being and just enjoy all things flowing flowing to me in abundance because it is a living supply that I am experiencing currently because it's currency, and because I am experiencing it currently in the currency that it is, what happens is my state of being now, what I'm experiencing now in this timeline, in this moment, is full abundance, full increase, full supply. Spirit knows no obstruction. Spirit knows no lack. I experience all needs met now in this timeline. I'm not waiting to get over there, and I'm definitely not trying to go back and visit what I didn't have in my childhood. Now, in this moment on my timeline, all needs met. And not only are my needs met, that I have increase and abundance so that I can circulate that out to others in whatever way that I choose to show up in my sacred service.
Oh, I can't even say nothing after that.
You can.
Whew. Look, I mean, look, some of the people feeling the way I'm feeling. Wow. Oh my. Yes. That part. That date, we all vibing together. You gotta say la that. Just
say la. So I'll say this based on what you said too. When you said that you changing your definition to now it's not objectified, it's more feeling, right? So another practice is start to say, I feel rich. I feel prosperous. I feel abundant. I feel whatever that, I feel wealthy, right? That feeling. And then not only do I feel it, I'm strong enough to allow that feeling to come through. I'm strong enough, because I think sometimes we can tell ourselves that, yes, I'm wealthy. Yes, I'm feeling it. But then we don't have the courage to let all of the divinity of that, to let all the resonance of that come through, because we start to wonder, how is this going to happen? How is it going to show up? How am I going to look to other people? And I can't tell you the number of people that I've counseled that felt guilty about their wealth to the point where they have to hide it. So not only do I feel wealthy, not only do I feel it, not only am I in relationship with it, I'm strong enough to let it come through. I'm mentally strong enough to let that come through. I'm mentally strong enough. That means like, I'm not going to be wishy-washy with the universe. I'm not going to be wishy-washy with God. Be like, God, I thought I wanted this, but I can't handle the pressure, the increase. I can't handle the pressure. No. I'm not going to be wishy-washy with it. I'm strong enough to let prosperity come through, because I would that you prosper and be in health, even as your soul unfolds. So not only is my money or my living supply, my definition for it, increasing, my soul has to also come up to a different articulation of what it is that I understand my living supply is for. So I'm strong enough, mentally strong enough to handle that, all of the stuff I thought I want that was material, or I thought I needed to be, I'm mentally strong enough to walk away from that. I'm mentally strong enough to look at my budget. I'm mentally strong enough to look at this. I'm mentally strong enough to invest. I'm mentally strong enough to say, you know what, this just buying a name brand is not the investment. Let me own the company. I'm mentally strong enough to do the right action that allows for me to prosper. So not only do I feel wealthy, not only do I feel rich, I'm mentally strong enough to allow that feeling to come through. And then not only am I mentally strong enough, I have enough heart presence to allow that to come through. I have compassion enough to let that come through. And that compassion is not looking at other people and seeing them as less than myself. I look at other people and I see the divine in them, and I know that it can come through me and we can circulate this. And that means that I am compassionate to the fact and the understanding that every person has this energy of the divine, of this love, and I can be a lover of people and resources. And so what happens is that expansion, that size container says, let me just pour this abundance. Let me just pour this wealth. Let me just increase your stream and let you flow in it. And that's how we do it.
I know we ain't in church, but I feel like I got to turn to your neighbor and have somebody to put in the comment section that I'm mentally strong enough. Just flood the comment section where I am mentally strong enough. I'm mentally strong enough to deal with that. What?
Yes, I feel it. I feel this way.
What?
I'm mentally strong enough to let. Because how many times have we felt something, but we're not courageous enough to let the feeling come through? I mean, we've done that in dating and in relationships. You feel some way about a person, but you're sitting over there talking about, I'm gonna see how they feel about me first. I'm gonna see. I'm gonna check and see. We're not mentally strong enough to let the feeling come through. And so I invite each person listening that if wealth and success and abundance is something that you know you're feeling within yourself, then go to the next step and say, I'm strong enough to let this feeling come through without having to demean another person, without having to compare myself to another person, without having to scheme or scrape or anything to get it, but just to understand in my own mind, in my own heart, that I can do this, that I can let this come through me and express it. And when you do that, the next phase of that, especially for emerging leaders and business owners out there, is that you begin to understand that I not only do I allow the feeling to come through, I allow compensation for my expression. Because now that you are expressing at the level of wealth, at the level of intellect, the level of intelligence, you can now allow compensation for the expression. Meaning you don't give out stuff and that you don't get compensated for because the universe will be violated its own law if you did.
Time out, Doc. You're doing it again. So what you on our side, I don't know if that's going on for everybody else, but you hit a high and all the equipment and stuff is starting to start to act up over here. I'll be warning you about that, Doc. Like it's a vibe. You gotta let the equipment catch up to how high you're going.
It's pretty high. I'm grateful I get to do it like right here.
I'm waiting for it to because you still blur your hair. You sound a little chopped up. Ooh, I love this. I love it, y'all. I love it. Can you repeat that? Somebody said, "Yeah, I know. We gotta wait for it." We Yo, what? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Oh my goodness. Is Doc back, y'all? Put it. Somebody, if you can see and hear her clearly, let us know in the comment section because I want to respect it. But if you cannot, let us know. Ah. Doc, I might need you to walk out the room and come back or something. I mean, if this don't if this don't.
Oh, I'm gonna drink some water. I'm gonna calm it down.
Oh my goodness gracious! And my apologies if this is only reason why I believe that I'm accurate on this one. The one that says James, I believe is Pastor James because he said teach daughter. So I was
That's my dad.
Yes. I believe that I was confusing that with your husband. And so all respect, honor as well. Still both Pastor James, but however, I just wanted to give that honor due because truthfully, if it wasn't for him, we would have never met.
When I tell you, success principles, that's it. Woo.
All right, you're back now. Okay, so I can see you. You're back. We went on a commercial break. Where we were out there in the cosmos, and now we coming back, and everything is kind of falling in a place where we can now. Doc is now visually able to be seen. She's solidifying her Christ expression right now, and so we are back. But I have a whole lot of. I am mentally strong enough. I'm mentally strong enough. A couple of Jesuses out there. Can you repeat that? Oh, this is good. I am mentally strong enough. She's the GOAT. Absolutely. 100%. Please. She said, yes, it's your dad. Love you. That is. Yes. That's yes. Absolutely. 100%. Love it. Love it. Love it. Let's own company. It's y'all just showing so much love. I love it. I love it, Doc. Okay. So As you were saying.
So the understanding that we're articulating is that success, wealth, all of this is a spiritual thing. It's not a material thing. It is a spiritual thing. And so when we say feeling tone, when we're talking vibration, when we're talking mental, when we're talking heart, when we're talking Christ consciousness, we're talking spiritual components that unfold and expand the container for wealth, for happy money. So what I said was, once you get to the understanding of I feel rich, and you're mentally and I'm mentally strong enough to allow that feeling to come through, and I begin to express that feeling, and that becomes my daily expression in my state of being. The next phase of that, especially for business owners, is that what happens is intellectual property, divine curiosity, divine ideas start to resonate within the being. And now you begin to express and know that I can allow compensation for that expression. Because once you feel it and then you allow the feeling to come through, the next phase the universe says is now you are compensated on what you express. You are compensated on your state of being. And the reason why a lot of times we're not seeing compensation at the level we want to see it at is because we have suppressed expression. We have borrowed expression of somebody else and saying, okay, I'm going to just try to do what they did, not understanding that's not your resonance, that's not your vibrational tone. And then the other part is we have separated ourselves from the thing that we're trying to express because we're still trying to express it from an old paradigm instead of moving it into an articulation that will work in the paradigm, in the understanding of that you're flowing in. Because remember, currency happening now. I cannot continue to bring old definitions to the thing that's now and say, I want this to try to work here. And what happens is when you get ready to vibrate at a higher level, you have to start by asking higher vibrating questions. You have to start by understanding that now that I'm feeling this way and I'm vibrating from this place and I'm allowing it to come through, my compensation is based on the degree to which I have the ability to put forth of what that thing I'm expressing. So that means that if you want higher compensation, you may want to spend time mastering your craft. You don't have time to be out there necessarily at this hour playing on TikTok. I mean, it's great. I love it. Or doing different things. Or you might have to say, you know what? I'm going to spend a couple of hours a day mastering my expression, mastering articulation, mastering my mental mindset so that I am also communicating to the universe that I am ready and I am equivalent to this level of compensation that I'm on. My kids, they are watching. They tease me all the time because I've been in school a long time. That's why I have so many degrees. And and they call me a nerd, and I tell them all the time, nerds attract a lot of money. But I love reading textbooks. I love study. I love doing that. And the other thing that I've been accused of, because I only make A's in school. I've been doing it since as long as I can remember. I graduated at 16 years old. And so somebody told me once, it's like, well, it's because you're trying to be a perfectionist. And I sat with that, and I was like, no, I'm not trying to be a perfectionist. Number one, I don't have to try to be what I already am. We are already perfect, whole, and complete. And I said to them, I make A's. I get A's because A's are available.
Hey!
All of the alphabets that's there, A, B, C, D, and E, are all available. Now, I choose A because it's available. And once you understand what's available to you and you say, this is what I want, that's my choice, I go after it. Now, the same things that are available to me is available to somebody else. However, that person may only want the level of a B. That person may only want the level of a C because that's what they've chosen at that level, or that's the amount of energy that they put out. But I choose what's available to me because that's what I want. And so I think sometimes we don't even realize what's available to us when it comes to this area of money and compensation. So I also am inviting you to find out what is available to you on your level of understanding. What is your level available to you on your level of comprehension. I choose it because I know it's available to me. Now, that means because I do choose to make an A, I will do my work a month in advance because I can and because I choose to. Again, I'm mastering my craft. Yes, I read what they give me, but also I take and see now how what they gave me is going to articulate from the divine that is within me, and what am I going to put as my expression on it so I can turn around and use it in a usable format for compensation. Because not only are we compensated by the level of degree of our mastery, we're compensated by our ability to allow it to work for others. How can this work for somebody else? How can you present it in a way where it is usable to somebody else? And then the other thing that you're compensated on is the difficulty it is in replacing you. There is nobody that can do I do like I do, how I do, when I do it, because I've taken the time to master what I do. I have not wasted my time trying to do what somebody else is doing, because that is for them to do. We are all individual, unique expressions. So I fully allow for compensation based on my expression and how I allow the divine to express through me.
You know it's happening again, but we got the audio down. Whoa. And you got all types of witnesses from your children saying yes. Even one said not even a 97 or something like that. I've seen it passing in the comments. Um, oh man. Oh, Doc. Yeah. Oh yeah. Nobody. Woo. I want to ask you to speak to something real quick, and then I want to transition for specifically as there is any questions in the community with anybody watching. But one thing I want to ask, at least it's come from my age and generation, where it seems to be a grind mentality that is kind of
Mhm.
out there, right? And so, I hear you say pretty much, you can attract it, you can do this, but then you're also talking about, you're in school, and so there's a level of work that is kind of gone and so forth and so on. So could you speak to your perspective on the area of this grind mentality and or work and attracting, like all that? It's so much out there that people are
Right,
hearing.
right.
What would you say to this?
So the difference is, again, the starting points. It is external versus internal. So
Okay.
when you have internal, it becomes I'm divinely led, or I'm just kind of moving in right action with the thing that matches what it is that is my state of being, that I'm bringing forth, that I'm doing in the given to the world. When I'm from this external and I'm just kind of trying to figure out what I can do just to make money, then it becomes a hustle. It becomes this grind. And what happens is we start spending more energy out than we have productivity. And that's why you see people, they're grinding, 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 they're hustling, hustling, hustling. And it seems like they'll have a little something, then they'll lose it. They'll have a little something, then they'll lose it. They'll have a little something, then they'll lose it. And what happened, that's because even though they are very hard workers and we celebrate that it still hasn't gone internal yet. And they're working against natural law, and that law is the law of least effort. And maybe just by looking and seeing what practices do I need to just change or tweak so that I'm not out here hustling and scheming or doing things to try to get over. I'm not always expecting to get this or trying to, move this over here. I just work from a state of knowing my starting point is number one, of happiness. I have a happiness set point around not only the money itself or the living supply itself, around what it is that I'm doing. And so when I'm happy about what I'm doing and how I'm showing up, then more of that will begin to unfold. And I say, oh, well, I'm taking this class because I want to know more about this. There's a curiosity around this, or it's not, maybe not a class, but I put out this product, or I put this video on YouTube or Instagram or whatever social platform they're using. I put this out because this is something I genuinely want to talk about. And there becomes an ease and an effortlessness to releasing that allows for me to produce more, then I'm spending energy or I'm doing it at the same amount. Because when the universe never wastes energy, that is the law of efficiency. It does not waste energy. So if I'm putting out more energy and I'm not getting enough production, remember, money is energy. If I'm spending more money than I have coming in, I am in a deficit. And if you are in an energy deficit, you 9 times out of 10 you are in a money deficit. If you are, I'm gonna say this again, if you are in an energy deficit, if you're stressed and messed up and stressed out and you're upset and unhappy and you feeling broke on the inside, I guarantee you could almost check it. You do a checks and balances. You can look at the same column and say that person is also in a money deficit, because over here, again, the mental equivalency is not matching up. And you take people who are happy, they are content, they are loving life. They may not necessarily have millions in the bank, but they're not broke either. And they're not walking around struggling, and they can eat from day to day. They can do all of their bills are paid on time, and they're just living life, because there is the equivalency over here is built up to the place where it is not in deficit. So reversing that to the place where I am producing more that I'm putting out and spending out any energy. I'm bringing in more, as far as I'm allowing it to come to me. I'm allowing myself to be in a place where this that's flowing from me is expression, so that my energy is not drained and I don't have anything to show for it. I'm just drained energy and tired. And then at the end of the day, I'm upset. I'm snapping. I'm irritated. I'm upset with people, and you're like, and you follow it all the way back, and you're like, what's wrong? It really is, my bank account is looking messed up. Really, I'm just upset right now because my bank account, and the fact that you're using the bank account to determine your emotion means that you have given too much energy, too much precedence to the bank account itself, and you have put your energy there, and you see that as your source when it is not the source. It is just a holding place for what is sourced within you. It is the holding place for what is sourced within you. And then when you begin to release what is already sourced within you, that is God, that is the divine, that is first cause, then what happens is the level of relationship, the level of value that I put on what's in me will start to increase the level of value that is over here in the account. But if I don't have value here, then there's no need for me to look for the numbers to increase over there.
So it starts within.
It starts with every single time.
Every single, you can't get
The
around
kingdom,
that.
the kingdom of God is
Within.
within you.
Yeah.
And that's a business principle. That's not just a Bible thing. You don't have to be a Christian to understand that. You can be whatever you want to be and understand that the kingdom, that means that which is operational, that is divine, that which is first source, that which is first cause, is within you. The authentic, absolute, unchanging, never ending flow is within you. Out of you shall flow.
Flow.
And once it flows, what is flow? Flow is currency. Out of you shall flow currency. How will it flow? Currently. How will it flow in currently? Because it is currency. It flows in now. It flows in real time. And based on your emotion, based on your electrical particles that resonate within your body, it will tell you the quantity at which it will flow, and it will also tell you the rate at which it will flow. And you can look in all of physics, all of the universe, and see the same thing. And we call it super strings. We call it vibrational strings. And we look up there and we see that some strings vibrate high frequency, some strings vibrate like people you see that's anxiety, they have a lot of franticness. Some strings don't vibrate at all, and some vibrate really, really low. And according to that level of vibration will determine the quantity and the rate at which currency flows to you, because it's all energy.
All right.
It's all
See.
electrical.
I think I seen it deleted, but I seen somebody put it's an inside job.
It's an inside job. Yes, it is. I love it.
That's it. That's it there. Goodness gracious. Doc, I could literally go all night with you. Or for you all day, but I want to give two opportunities at this time. One is you've talked about the area of success is spiritual, right? And that is amazing program that I want you to share a little bit about it. But I have to say, as a first partaker pertaining to this, even before you open your amazing mouth to share this thing, that one y'all, it works 1 week in. 1 week in, Lanisha and I received a check for over 3 grand that we did not work for. I mean, it showed up. Okay, so I'm just saying, like, the principles. I mean, they work, right? The house that we are in, all of this is a part of the principles. So when I tell y'all, don't cheat. Another aerotech was it what's his name? Esoteric teacher. He says you can't lose with the stuff you use. Help me out. What's his name? Doc can't lose with the stuff that she uses. That's my whole point to that. What is his name, babe?
Dr. Benson?
No. Come on, y'all. It's right there. Anyway, it'll come back. Somebody knows that phrase and can help me out with pertaining to that. All right. I was on it for a while, but I want to give you guys the opportunity to hear what Doc says pertaining to success is spiritual, and even how you can connect with that. And then I want to give you guys an opportunity to respond as well through giving.
So, Success is Spiritual is a lifestyle course that I created that's based on well being, that's based around increasing health and wellness and interaction with the spirit and expressing divinity. Success is Spiritual is about building the bliss body. So we talked a lot tonight about happiness and how happy money. So one of the ways to get into that state of happiness is to build the bliss body. And so it's bringing all parts of who you are together into a collective understanding of how how the nervous system is moved out of fight and flight mode into rest and digest mode. It is harmonizing and synchronicity. It is allowing ourselves to go beyond the story and to articulate and go beyond the known. And it teaches, again, in accordance with natural law, that which is life affirming. Because what I found out through research, through study, through neuroscience, through integrative medicine, through Ayurveda, through Western and allopathic medicine, all of which I integrate together, is that we have these 5 bodies of consciousness, and they are the physical body, the vital body, the energetic body, the intellectual body, and the bliss body. And whenever we bring them together and there's balance or homeostatic understanding within all of these bodies, then we enliven our own repair mechanisms. We begin to reconnect ourselves to consciousness in a way that we have this awareness that we're not moving just out of our own pain. We're moving in this flow of healing tone, this flow of divine resonance, and we're moving in a way where we are, again, affirming life, and we're connected to all that there is, and not in this state of separation that causes and increases all this anxiety that we have in our society. So Success is Spiritual is that's the starting place, and then in doing so, as a byproduct of living in fulfillment and well-being, your money increases, your life increases, things that you want to do or bring forth or express, that also increases, and you begin to experience abundance of life, because that's what life is already. Life is abundant. I came that you may have life and have it abundantly, and that's the only way that it really can be experienced, in abundance. But we get to decide the different degrees of that abundance, and we also decide the different poles of that abundance. Because for somebody who's experiencing an abundance in the form of all needs met, there's somebody who's experiencing an abundance of drama at the other side of the pole. So,
That part.
mm-hmm. So the degrees and the polarity to which you experience abundance is up to us. And the program Success is Spiritual trains and empowers us to go to the level that is our highest and greatest good by building that bliss body and coming into a state of happiness and connecting and staying connected and living and embodying spirit, which is the Christ consciousness that we are.
I love it, Doc. Can we put your link to your website in the chat area. Hint.
Yes.
Okay. Do you have that? My wife is in the background, so if I say beautiful, you all are beautiful, but I'm talking to her. But beautiful, if you can put that in the
Absolutely.
in there, that would be great. That'd be awesome. Um, yes, please check out the site. Sign up. Whatever Doc breathes on, like this, yes, and you already know. All right, Elevation Nation, if you're in here as well, for Elevation Nation, the community, we are a pay as you unfold membership program, and so there's no cost to be in Elevation Nation. But as you unfold, as you receive, we give the opportunity for you to go ahead and sow into this, and this is amazing soil. And so also what we'll do is we're going to post the links to specifically to Dr. Sutton if you desire to go ahead and sow into her ministry, sow into her life. All her links will be put in the comment section pertaining to that. If you desire to sow into the Elevated podcast, the links will be there also. But I want to be clear about where your resources are going specifically. If you're choosing to sow into Elevated podcast, 40% will go to the podcast, 40% will go to Doc, and 20% is going to her nonprofit organization. And so you can sow directly to Doc, and she's going to get all that, and that's fine. That's great and awesome. If you choose to put anything in Elevated Podcast, that's exactly how it will be split up. All right. So those are being put in there. We are amazed. If there are any questions, I want to hit those. Outside of that, Doc, you have the last words. So I don't see any questions. Did I miss anything beautiful? Nope. All right. Posting those links. Doc, you got it.
All right. So I just want to give right quick some quick practices that you can do to increase your happiness container, and the some daily stuff that you can do that's really easy. Number one is gratitude. Practicing gratitude. That is the biggest thing, because it is not just a practice; it is an actual vibrational frequency. That when we are grateful, when we practice gratitude, when we are aware of all the good that is available, that is around us and circulating us, it starts to shift the mind to a mindset of optimism. The other thing that you can do, that I love to tell people to do, is smile like you mean it. Smile, smile, smile. And when you smile, you're actually activating the zygomaticus muscles that are in the face, and those muscles are releasing healing tonics in the body of joy, and that joy is creating a peptide, a chemical which your body will come to resonate with and understand. So every time you smile, it'll say, oh, I'm releasing this chemical, I'm turning on that key for joy. And then get some sleep. Make sure you get enough sleep, because sleep deprivation will oftentimes cause us to be cranky and irritated the next day. And it's hard to stay happy and stay in the feeling of gratitude, especially when you're looking at bills or different things, when you're like, I'm tired already. And it has nothing to do with the money in itself. It's just kind of like, I didn't get enough sleep. I haven't rested enough. So take care of yourself, rest, and let that kind of resonate within you. And be optimistic. You can choose to look at everything from a viewpoint of something being done to you, or something happening to you, or life is not fair. Or you can choose to understand that I am in control of this in this way. I have the power to choose a different choice. I have the power to make a new choice. And because that is never absent from me, I am choosing to express differently. And I'm going right back to, I feel rich, and I have the courage to let this feeling come forth. I have the mental capacity for this to come forth. And then my last one, my favorite one, all of them are my favorite, but this probably is my most favorite, is meditation. Meditation. Going within and reconnecting to that field of first cause. And if you don't know how to meditate, check out my site and we will get some stuff going to meditate. But you can just start with just being quiet, just the silence, because within the silence is already dynamism, it's already energy, it's already sound, it's already creativity. So just sit in the silence, and in silent confidence know that you are already wealthy, you are already successful, you are already it. And my knowing for you is that it will begin to express itself in full form in your life as the being that you are.
Amazing. Thank you, Doc and community. You are amazing. Looking through one more time. Reverend Ike. Thank y'all. Yeah, that's who it was.
Oh, yeah.
Reverend Ike. You can't lose with the stuff you use. Yes, y'all.
Yes,
Thank
yes.
y'all. Okay. All right. Sorry. My bad. That's what I was trying to say. Y'all had my back. Anyway, so Doc, thank you as always for being you. And we love you. You are amazing. You are awesome. Elevation Nation, thank you as well. And so stay tuned. There's other episodes that are there. Oh, they got to check out High Vibes. So please. You're just looking at me like you ready to have me put a link to that. Look, you can find that on all the podcast platforms. High Vibes. Listen to it, subscribe to it. Trust me, you want that in your rotation if it's not already in your rotation. All right. So you guys are amazing. You are already blessed. We love you, and we will see you. We're here every Monday night, and we'll give some information to you if you desire to be in the Elevation Nation. All right. We love you, and we will see you soon.
Thank you.